The laws of Teshuvah, repentance, the final chapter. We finished the first book, the book of Mada. Alrighty. Person should not say, what shouldn't you say?
Teshuvah?
Shouldn't say, I will fulfill mitzvahs the mitzvah of Torah, occupy myself. Second.
Chapter 10, Teshuvah.
Exactement. So you should say, I will fulfill the mitzvah of Torah and occupy myself with wisdom in order to receive all the blessings which are contained within it,
You see how long the footnote is for number one?
or in order to merit the life of the world to come. Similarly, I will separate myself from all the sins of the Torah warned against, so that I will be saved from all the curses contained in the Torah, or that my soul will not be cut off from the life of the world to come. It's not fitting to serve God in this manner, right? In other words, to serve him for, the benefit thereof. Right? A person whose service is motivated by these factors considers one who serves out of fear. He is not on the level of the prophets or of the wise. The only ones who serve God in this manner are common people, women, and minors. They are trained to serve God out of fear until their knowledge increases and they serve out of love. You see? Yeah, in other words, you have to learn to do it out of love.
Begins the motivation out of fear.
One who serves God out of love occupies himself in Torah and the mitzvahs and walks in the paths of wisdom for no ulterior motive, not because of fear that evil will occur, nor in order to acquire benefit. Rather, he does so what is true because it is true, and ultimately good will come because of it. But you're committed because it's true. This is a very high level, which is not merited by every wise man. It's a level of our patriarch Abraham, whom God described as, he who loved me for his service was only motivated by love. God commanded us to seek this rung of service as conveyed by Moses, love God, your Lord. When a man will love God in a proper manner, he will immediately perform all of the mitzvahs motivated by love. What is a proper degree of love? That a person should love God with a very great and exceeding love until his soul is bound up with the love of God. Thus, he will always be obsessed with the love as he is lovesick. A lovesick person's thoughts are never diverted from the love of that woman. He is always obsessed with her. When he sits down, when he gets up, when he eats and he drinks, with an even greater love than the love of God should be implanted. The love for God should be implanted in the hearts of those who love him and are obsessed with him, with God, at all times as we are commanded. Love God with all your heart, with all your soul. This concept is applied by Solomon in Song of Songs. As he states, and as a metaphor, I'm lovesick indeed. A total love. Song of Songs is a parable describing this love, right? The mimer that we just finished, right? Doidi doifik. Pischuli, Achisi, Rayasi, Yanasi, Samasi. We just learned this.
Interesting how they correlate.
Yeah, it's all connected, huh?
Yeah.
The sages of previous generations declared, should one say, I will study Torah in order to become wealthy, in order that I be called a rabbi, in order to receive the reward of the world to come, the Torah teaches that if you're careful to observe my commandments, to love God, implying that that you do should only be done out of love. What you do, only out of love.
Previous generation.
Yeah. Sages also said, desire his commandments greatly. Desire his commandments and not the reward which come from his commandments. In a similar manner, the great sages would command the more understanding and brilliant among their students in private. Do not be like servants who serve their master for the sake of receiving a reward. Rather, since he is the master, it is fitting to serve him and serve him out of love. Anyone who occupies himself with Torah in order to receive reward or in order to protect himself from retribution is considered as one who is not occupied for the sake of God. In contrast, anyone who occupies themselves with it, not because of fear, nor to receive a reward, but rather because of the love for the Lord of the entire earth who commanded it, is one who occupies himself for God's sake. Nevertheless, our sages declared a person should always occupy himself with Torah, even when it is not for God's sake. For out of the service which is not intended with God's sake will come a service that is intended for God's sake. So ultimately, you come to the truth. Right?
Doesn't that contradict what he said at the beginning?
How?
In terms of doing it for us out of fear?
He said you shouldn't, but in other words, don't wait till you come to love God and then study Torah or do a mitzvah. Do it anyways, even if it's not done with the right intent, because eventually you will come to the right intent. Right?
Will come to what I get it.
He didn't say in the beginning, don't do it. He said, don't do the mitzvah.
It's not fitting to say what it is.
It's not fitting to do it, but that doesn't mean you don't do it.
Okay.
No, it doesn't mean you don't do it. I mean, you have an obligation to do it, right? But you're not going to say the Shema until you're going to be there ready to love God. No, you got to say the Shema even if you're not. Eventually, you'll come to it.
Right. I agree.
As their knowledge grows, therefore, one teaches the children, women, and the most common people, one should teach them to serve out of fear in order to receive a reward. As their knowledge grows and their wisdom increases, this secret should be revealed to them slowly, bit by bit. They should become accustomed to the concept gradually until they grasp it and know it and begin serving God out of love. Because you know why it's a secret? Well, we just learned in Tanya how it ties in together. Because the animal soul is self-serving, and we lead our lives by the animal soul primarily.
But the secret destroys the animal soul.
So this is a secret that's not what life's about. Self-serving. So, and self-serving doesn't mean you're bad. Self-serving could be you doing a lot of good stuff. You're doing mitzvahs, but it's self-serving. And the truth is, on some degree, we have to be aware that we're doing it because it's self-serving, right? That's why we learn this, to learn to be aware and to do it for a higher purpose.
Bit by bit.
Yeah, exactly. Number 6, it is well known and clear matter that the love of God will not become attached within a person's heart until he becomes obsessed with it in all the times as is fitting, leaving all things in the world except for this. This is implied by the command, love God your Lord with all your heart, with all your soul. One can only love God as an outgrowth of the knowledge with which he knows. The nature of one's love depends on the nature of one's knowledge, right? Just like in human relationships, right? The more you know the greatness of a person, the more you're going to love them. The less you know, the less you love them.
It's like any relationship.
Yeah. So God, likewise. So a small amount of knowledge arouses lesser love. A greater amount of knowledge arouses a greater love. Therefore, it is necessary for a person to seclude himself in order to understand and conceive wisdom and concepts that make his Creator known to him according to the potential which a man possesses to understand and comprehend, as explained in Hilchos Yesod Torah. So in other words, you need to meditate, you need to think about this, right? In order that we get an understanding of God.
You don't have to do seclusion.
Well, seclude yourself means, in your own mind.
Like even now, I can seclude myself in this area of learning.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it doesn't mean go into a cave somewhere.
Yeah,
It means just that you can have solitude. That way you can think. right? Brich Rachmana D'Saya. Blessed be God who grants assistance. This concludes the first book, the book of knowledge, from Sefer Madam, and help of the Almighty. The number of chapters is 46. They were Hilchos Yesodei HaTorah, 10 chapters. That was the foundation of the laws of the fundamentals of Torah. Hilchos Deos, 7 chapters, the laws of proper perspective and character qualities. Hilchos Talmud Torah, the laws of study of Torah, 7 chapters. Hilchos Avodah Zarah V'Chukas Goyim, the laws of idolatry and the ways, the non-Jewish ways. 12 chapters. Hilchos Teshuvah and the laws of Teshuvah, 10 chapters. Let's just read a bit over here. Kriya Shema, chapter 1. Oh, how I love your Torah. It is what I discuss the entire day. Oh, I love it. Yeah. Book of Love. This is a Sefer Ahava, the book of love. The second book, and contains 6 halachas in their order is the laws of recitation of the Shema, the laws of prayer and priestly blessings, laws of tefillin, mezuzah, and Torah scrolls, laws of tzitzis, laws of blessings, laws of circumcision, laws of recitation of the Shema. That's what we certainly they contain one positive commandment to write the Shema twice daily. This mitzvah is explained in the following chapters. We're obligated to recite the Shema twice daily, in the evening and the morning, as it states when you lie down and when you rise. And when people are accustomed to sleep at night, and when people are accustomed to rise during the day. And what is it that one recites? First, these 3 passages, Hear, O Israel. Bahayim Shemaya, and if you will listen, Yimra Hashem, and God said. We begin the section Heroes, which contains the concept of the unity of God, commandment of loving Him, and the study of Torah, being fundamental principle upon which everything is based. If we read and if you will listen, if you will listen, since it contains the imperative to fulfill the rest of the commandments, and finally the portion of tzitzis, since kind of imperative of the rest of the commandments, and finally the portion of tzitzis, since it contains the imperative of remembering all the commandments. Okay, we're going to stop here. Shkoyach, thank you, folks.
The saying of the Shema is B'Shachrit on Marie. It's not the Kiryat Shema. Prayer at night.
Is there nothing here on?
We're gonna back.